But what I'm going to talk about tonight is how the state of Texas is literally destroying our children. I'm going to touch on a couple different topics. I'm going to talk about our family courts. I'm going to talk about CPS and DFPS. And then I'm going to talk about what we can do to actually fix it. Everybody in here typically has an issue. Raise your hand if you're a Second Amendment person. I am. All right? So, how have the school shootings helped our cause? Well, what they've done is given the left ammo for red flag laws. They've given the left ammo to say, we're to take it away. Oh, wait, you went and saw a counselor for depression? We need your guns. Oh, wait, you went and served and you have PTSD? It's in your records? Sorry, that 9mm and that AR, they've got to go. So, where do our school shooters come from? Do they come from healthy, intact, stable nuclear families? No. Almost all of them come from broken, destroyed homes. Okay, so there's Second Amendment. Who's up on the pub ed hearings that are going on in Austin? The porn in the schools, the drag shows for kids, the trainees reading story time. Anybody hear anything about any of that?
Yes.
Anybody got a problem with it?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm old. Some of you can relate. When I was a kid, if you said damn at 7 p.m. on NBC, your show was canceled.
Yep.
NBC got fined. Everybody was all over it. Today, 7 p.m., doesn't matter what channel you're watching, simulated sex, I can show penises and vaginas and butts. I can use compound words that I learned when I was in the Navy. I can do anything I want. And so that's in my lifetime. We have normalized sin so quickly and so fast that when I was a child, if you had transsexuals, and if anybody here is a transsexual, I apologize. I'll typically use the word tranny just because, like I said, I'm a late life Christian. When I was a child, if you had trannies showing up at school to read books to kindergartners, the left would hit them in the head with a brick. The left would attack them. But now it's become normalized that we're just supposed to accept it. So how does that tie into the children and stuff? Well, one, we're destroying our kids. But two, the people who think this is okay come from those broken families that I'm talking about. Where does a child learn his morals, his ethics, and his, hopefully, fear of God? Does he get it at school? No. No. Does he get it from his friends? No. That bond, that attachment bond between parent and child, that child will learn all those things from the parent. The greatest predictor of academic success in a child is a parent who reads to them. And it is the act of reading and me reading to you. No, it's not. What we know is the fact that I spend time with you. We have a relationship. It's the time spent together. That's how important it is. And if you've watched at all the hearings out of Corpus Christi, who knows that there's been a federal lawsuit from adult children who've aged out of foster care in Texas? Right? So it's been going on in Corpus Christi. They filed it, I believe, in 2011. They finally had a trial in 2016. Judge Janice Jack out of Corpus Christi said, Texas, you have jacked these people up. You lose. And so DFPS and CPS, it is a hot, stinking mess if you don't know that. So instead of fixing it, like she asked, what our state do, we showed up 3 different occasions and lied to her face and said we fixed it. And so she hired a bunch of investigators and sent them all over the state to check on the stuff that we said we fixed. Guess what? We hadn't fixed a damn thing. So they fined us $75,000 a day for lying to her. And we did it 3 times. And in January, she said, I want to know where all these, because when a kid's in foster care, the state is the parent, right? The state is responsible. If you're fostering a child, you're just housing them. The state is still responsible. She said, I want to know where all these foster kids are. And this was on the heels of about 7 or 8 young girls being prostituted out in a foster home. And it was reported. And they left them there how much longer? Oh, a couple more months. Because, hey, what's the big deal? They're kids. They don't have a PAC. They don't have a lobby. They don't vote. So we left these little girls in a foster home where they were getting prostituted out. Because that's what we want to do with kids, right? And so And it's not an anomaly, it happens all over this state. So in January, she said, I want to know where all these kids are. I want a list of where they are. Is it a home? Is it a residential facility? Where are they? And what did DFPS say to her? Anybody know?
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't have the technology to keep track of that. I don't know. I've got Excel at home. I can track all kinds of crap. In 2016, I met with Deputy Director Trevor Woodruff and Tiffany Roper of DFPS. I've been working with these people for a while, and I presented them with some stuff to try to help fix what we do down there. They're both lawyers, so they don't really care. Their main thing was, we just don't want to get sued. But while I was there, I said, you don't even know, and I already knew the answer, you don't even know how many kids die in custody, do you? Under state care? Nope. But it's an acceptable number. Do you know how many you lose? No, but it's an acceptable number. Do you know how many get sex trafficked? No, but it's an acceptable number. And I'm like, well, if you don't track it, how do you know it's an acceptable number? Well, because we don't have to track it, so it's always an acceptable number. So we're not mandated by the state to track those numbers, because if we tracked it, well, guess what? Oh, snap, there would be data to show how many die, how many we lose, and how many get sex trafficked. Next time you see a big story about sex trafficking, we're going, oh, by the way, Texas has 2 of the biggest cities for sex trafficking in the nation. So next time you see a story, sometimes they'll put it in there. About 2/3 of the kids that come out of the sex trafficking rings came straight out of our foster care. So we are literally pumping children into homes to get abused by adults through our DFPS and CPS.
We define that. That's an acceptable number.
It's an acceptable number. Yeah, it's okay. They'll get over it. Kids are resilient. It doesn't really matter. They don't vote. They don't have a PAC. They don't have a lobby. And this has been known for decades. This isn't a new thing. Everybody has known what a stinking mess it is. But our state has taken the approach that it is cheaper to pay the lawsuits and the fines than it is to rework the system. Kids be damned. That is literally how our CPS and DFPS operate. So, our state sucks at taking care of children. When they're in charge, they're horrible. If I want to be a CPS investigator, because you think when I show up with my badge that I actually know something, right? I'm at your door, I want to come in, check on your kid. I don't need a degree in anything to do with kids. I can have a degree in nutrition and be a CPS investigator. And I can come up and say, you know what? You believe in Christ? There's a problem with that fairy tale stuff. I think there's something wrong with you. We might need to remove these kids. What? Oh my gosh, wait till I get into the real stuff. Yeah. So there's a judge in Tarrant County, Judge Kim. Whoop, whoop. And he was elected to handle CPS cases in Tarrant County. And that's all he did. But he was mysteriously removed from the bench by the other judges because he was slowing the system down. He was messing it up for them. What was he doing? He was asking CPS to show proof when they wanted to remove a child. When they came in and said, we want to take this child out, he said, show me what they've done. Well, what do you mean? Because they've never been asked that before. What are you talking about? He said, show me what's happened. I'm not going to arbitrarily remove a kid from a home. Well, he got fired. Yeah. They moved him because he was slowing the system down, because he was actually asking for evidence. So our state has been operating like this for a long time. And Judge Kim is an exception. Most of our family court judges, and I'm not talking about all of them, so if you're a family attorney or you're a family court judge or whatever, I hope you're one of the exceptions, because otherwise you're going to get really angry with me here in a second.